Good evening. Welcome to Have I Got News For You? I'm Adil Ray. In the news this week, after coming under extreme pressure to clarify his Brexit position, Jeremy Corbyn decides to take a Saga coach holiday to Llandudno.
See you in 5 weeks' time.
As the newspapers fawn over Boris Johnson's new dog, evidence emerges that Larry the cat has a few anger management issues. And after 3 months of being hypnotised into believing he was the Prime Minister, the victim is brought out of his trance. On Ian's team tonight is a journalist who gave her name to Lewis's Law, an observation about comments on the internet. It can be tricky sharing your name with a law. Just ask my mate, Sharia. Please welcome Helen Lewis. And with Paul tonight is a comedian who has gone from Eton to Oxford to Have I Got News For You. So please welcome our next Prime Minister, Ivo Graham. And we start with the biggest stories of the week. Ian and Helen, take a look at this.
That's Boris with some children. They're not all his.
And a Tory voter.
Oh, dear God. There's a man called Cleverly, which is debatable.
And that is the best appearance from a Tory minister this week. This must be a bad week for the Tory campaign, surely.
I'm very excited because all the parties are doing incredibly badly. And we've been going for one day.
Yeah, having a cabinet minister resign on the first day of the election campaign is not classically seen as a good thing. But, however, Penny Mordaunt is here to save the day. Have you heard about this?
No.
So Penny Mordaunt, the Defence Minister, has launched a series of emojis.
Right.
Which she thinks are going to promote civil discourse on the internet.
Wow.
I feel like I should explain emojis to you, but...
Yeah.
I
I'd start by explaining the internet if I...
I mean, but you probably use them all the time when you're sexting.
She's got you, hasn't she, Ian?
I can confirm that.
Now, Theresa May had strong and stable. What is Boris's soundbite to try and steer the Tories back on course this week?
He wants to unleash Britain's potential. And there is a problem with Boris Johnson in that all his metaphors sound like sex metaphors. He's always talking about how he's got throbbing plans for stuff.
Has nothing to do with politics.
He says he's got a pre-cooked...
Oven ready.
Oven ready.
Right.
Oven ready Brexit.
Here it is.
We're so nearly there. We've got a deal, oven ready, by which we can leave the EU. As I say, it's oven ready. It's that to go. And we have it ready to go, oven ready. Come on, let's get this thing done. We've got an oven ready deal. Put it in the microwave. Gas mark for it's there. It's ready. It is ready to go. Prick the lid.
Oven ready Brexit, half-baked deal.
The Tory party are the world's most successful party in terms of how long they've been going for. How much more time do they need to unleash the potential?
They haven't done a great deal.
No.
But no, I mean, it started badly and it's going terribly.
There is a theory that they have a dead cat strategy, which is the idea that when things are going badly, basically the idea is you throw a dead cat on the table and everyone stops what they're talking about and goes, that's a dead cat. But the problem is you can't distract from one dead cat with an even deader cat. At the point, you're just frisbeeing out cats.
They wheeled out Jacob Rees-Mogg because I think they thought they were doing too well. So they needed someone to make a huge gaffe about Grenfell, which he then did.
He obliged, didn't he?
He did. He always does, in the end. He's very polite. Could you say something really offensive and patronising? Yes, of course. He said that anyone with common sense would have run away from the fire. I mean, anyone with common sense wouldn't have said that.
Quite an impressive achievement to have said the most offensive thing ever on LBC, though.
But the great thing is, with the dead cat, is in order to cover up for Jacob Rees-Mogg, they unleashed another Tory MP.
Send for Andrew Bridgen, someone said. They'll sort everything out. And he said, well, the thing is, Jacob Rees-Mogg is just cleverer, and don't you want clever people in government?
Yeah.
And we all kind of went, we'd like to try it, yeah.
What was the real body blow to the Conservatives on Wednesday of this week?
I mean, narrow it down.
There was a good video that they doctored.
They doctored and posted a video online of Sir Keir Starmer's interview on Good Morning Britain to give the impression that he hadn't answered Piers Morgan's question.
Why would the EU give you a good deal if they know that you're going to actively campaign against it?
And that's the best bit about this, is the Tory party were embarrassed over perpetrating a fraud by Piers Morgan. I mean, it's time to go home.
I should declare at this point, I do sometimes sit in for Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain, you know the best thing about sitting in for Piers Morgan on Good Morning Britain? I don't have to meet Piers Morgan. How has James cleverly defended the editing of this video, by the way?
He said it was satire. It was a laugh. As opposed to it's just fake news. I mean, it's like Trump. You just put out things that aren't true and say, yeah, it's funny. It wasn't meant to be funny. It was meant to fool people.
He said it was edited, not doctored.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
That's a lovely little grey area there. But they can't say it's doctored because otherwise Matt Hancock would take away its funding.
Now, as you were touching on earlier, Ian, there is an argument, isn't it? The Tories have done this on purpose to deliberately provoke outrage.
Well, they've deliberately done something. No. I always feel that in politics, whenever someone says someone's doing something really brilliant and Machiavellian and genius, it's just an accident. I mean, him being called cleverly, I think, is incredibly funny.
And he's the MP for Braintree as well.
I mean, this whole thing about, trying to provoke outrage, maybe they've nicked the idea from Robert Dyers. Have you seen this?
No.
You're going to want to see this.
Yeah, I'll take notes.
Yeah, take notes. The 2015 Christmas advert by Robert Dyers that went viral this week.
Hi, my name's Marcus. I work at Robert Dyers and I'm gay.
I'm bisexual and I always find something I love at Robert Dyers.
Look at this Christmas tree. It's perfect for a gay person or a straight person.
This field would work a treat in a straight person's home or a gay person.
Robert Dyers, where gays and straights can buy drills and much, much more.
However, no Asians, Robert Dyers. Fuck you.
That's the hardest bit of being gay, is having to tell your parents that you love shopping at Robert Dyers.
I live on my own. That's why the vacuum cleaner's my best friend.
You don't live on your own. You're self-partnered.
What else happened to James stupidly this week?
Oh, he failed to appear on a Sky
Kay
TV.
Burley's show. So
Yes.
she empty-chaired him and asked the chair all the questions that she would have asked James cleverly, and the chair gave a very competent performance, I thought.
Did you see how furious she was?
No, but I bet she was.
Oh, I'm fuming. I can't even begin to tell you how cross I am. I've got an empty chair here. It was supposed to be filled, I should say, by the chairman of the Conservative Party. I wanted to ask him about things like this, which is the front page of The Telegraph, the tragedy of the modern Labour Party. And I also wanted to ask him whether he thought that the Conservatives were having a good day. I'm fuming. I'm sure if you're watching and you want answers to those questions, you will be fizzing as well.
Fizzing.
Fizzing. Are you allowed to just say that, then, that an empty chair is a Tory MP? Basically, I've done several Edinburgh Fringe shows which have been entirely populated by Tory MPs. And I was fizzing. I was fizzing for every minute of it.
What has the government managed to avoid so far?
This must be publication of the report on Russian election interference, right?
Must be, yes.
So the theory is that they're not releasing it either because there might be some Russian money that went into the EU referendum, or possibly because some Russians have donated some money to the Conservative Party. Because they have got really big Russian donors. There's a Putin...
They're enormous, I've seen them.
He's 17 feet tall.
They've got smaller ones inside of them, though, to be fair.
We also won't find out about Dominic Cummings and the time that he spent in Russia between 1994 and 1997, when he worked on an airline that had one flight, which is one up on the ferry company that had no ferries.
Was Dominic Cummings, was he like a trolley dolly? Was that what he was? Was he...
Yes, yes.
The Brexits are here.
Ivo, you studied Russian, didn't you, at Oxford University?
Yes.
Are you a spy? Who do you work for? Come on.
Well, it's a pleasure to be able to come out in this forum. My name's Ivo. I'm a Russian spy, and I love shopping at Robert Dyer.
And the government have been terribly evasive about why the report has not been published, which brings us to terrible election joke of the week. Here's Michael Gove on BBC Breakfast.
This apparent 50-page dossier talking about examining Russian infiltration of UK politics. You're not sitting on it?
I personally am not. No, I'm standing here on the roof of Fort Millbank.
Well, he made himself laugh.
Do you think he could do Edinburgh?
Yes, but certainly not as a performer at the Fringe. But I could see him doing Edinburgh. Certainly.
Quite good as the castle.
Say what? He's an arsehole.
Quite good as the castle.
You're calling Michael Gove an arsehole?
Castle.
Castle?
Yeah.
That Cockney rhyming slang. Oi, turrets.
This is the Conservative Party firing the starting gun for the election and shooting themselves firmly in the foot. Nigel Farage has revealed he won't be standing in the election, although, to be fair, he rarely is standing after lunch.
That's Michael Gove's joke.
Yeah.
You nicked that off Michael Gove.
That's how comedy works. Welcome, Ivo.
You bloody castle.
The Sunday Times...
You just nicked my joke!
It's open season.
The Sunday Times has revealed that to buy Nigel Farage off, the Tories have twice offered him a peerage, although in everyone's eyes, he's already a count.
That's not even Cockney rhyming slang.
Also this week, Tory MP James Cleverly was empty-chaired by Kay Burley. Bearing in mind Sky News viewing figures, Kay Burley talking to empty chairs is a scene played out daily in living rooms throughout the country. Paul and Ivo, take a look at this.
Yes. This is Tom Watson, who is leaving the Labour Party, but to be honest, half of him's already left the Labour Party. There he is, after his most successful diet, coming through the same swing doors. More cakes for Tom. Go on, Tom, have a cake. Cake and Buddy. That's Joe Swinson building a brick wall, doing things, and Soapbox Derby. Oh, my money's on the money on the left. Oh, no, he's gone.
In terms of balance, this is all the other lots who are equally as useless as the Tories. They have been this week. What election boost did Jeremy get this week?
Tom Watson, the deputy, is standing down. He's going to pursue a life outside of politics.
Yeah.
He's had enough, probably.
Yeah, the party have finally managed to kick out Tom Watson. Is another way of looking at it.
Yes.
Yeah. Here's a letter that Jeremy Corbyn wrote to Tom Watson after he resigned. I've always enjoyed our very convivial chats about many things. I hope the horseradish plants I gave you thrive. How sinister is that?
Yeah.
That's Godfather 2.
It is, isn't it?
Enjoy the radish.
Make wasabi out of this.
It is quite something for a political party going into an election, the day you start, to lose your deputy leader. That hasn't happened before.
Particularly when he says, I'm going to go and become a level 2 gym instructor. I mean, that's just trolling, isn't it?
But he's really thin now, isn't he?
He puts butter in his tea.
He used to put butter in his tea.
No, now he puts butter in his tea.
Huh?
Yeah. He says that all his weight loss is down to putting butter in his tea.
Does he drink it?
Did you try?
It's just the effort of lifting up the butter and putting it in the tea and throwing it out the window.
Yeah.
Who else won't be standing as an MP?
This is Farage. He came out and he said he's going to have candidates in every constituency in the country, but he won't himself be standing because, you know, that old motto, 8th time lucky.
I thought there was a terrible quote by him in the Sunday Times this weekend where he said, the thing about Brexit is it's stopping me from doing what I want, which is going to America. And you think, well, hang on a minute, all these immigrants that you don't like, at least they want to live here.
Well, we're not stopping him leaving.
No.
No, that's true.
In fact, some of us might have a whip round.
Yeah, Nigel Farage, he's lost 7 times and there's only so much humiliation a man can take, although he did offer an electoral pact to Boris Johnson and he was instantly snubbed. Now, the electoral pact was the idea of Donald Trump, who rang Farage on his LBC show last week.
This is how British politics is done.
Yeah, yeah. Now, it's not the most surprising call he's received lately.
What, it's Donald from the White House on line 3?
Oh, well, it's not. It really isn't. Have a look at this one.
I'm immensely grateful to you for everything you've done in British politics over the last few years. I used to be an ardent Remainer. I voted Remain. I believed in the European project. I believed that staying in the European Union was the best thing for us. And then something happened and something monumental happened. It completely changed my opinion on the whole situation.
What was that monumental thing, Mark?
I was kicked in the head by a horse.
Brilliant, typical bias LBC. They're all Remainers on LBC. Sickening.
It was revealed this week that Jeremy Corbyn, Diane Abbott and John McDonnell secretly met at an allotment over the summer. Why?
If Jeremy Corbyn meets at an allotment, it's not a secret meeting. That's the place you look for Jeremy Corbyn.
They were there to discuss Brexit. He gave an interview to The Guardian in which he came over very, very tough. I think he felt that his image was a bit feeble. He said, I made the decision on my own. Me, Jeremy, me, I made it, and I said, you'll do what I say. Just like that.
Yeah, it was
scary.
The thing about Jeremy Corbyn is he comes across very tough, but butter wouldn't melt in his tea.
Yes, according to a Dispatches documentary shown on Channel 4 this week, the 3 horsemen of the crapocalypse all met up secretly at Jeremy's allotment and agreed to turn Labour into a Remain party. So why aren't Labour an all-out Remain party, then?
They tried to have a meeting without the Chief of Staff, and then he just told them what to do.
Corbyn's director of strategy, Seamus Milne, a seasoned Eurosceptic, got wind of it and convinced Jeremy to sit on the fence. He fell over backwards and crushed his sprouts. Now, let's move on to another party, shall we? Why are the Lib Dems threatening to sue ITV?
Because they're having the 2 main party leaders, Corbyn and Johnson, but they're not having Joe Swinson as part of the debate?
Yes, that's right. After their leader, Joe Swinson, was snubbed from the broadcaster's election debate, the Lib Dems called it sexist after it was announced that ITV's debate will only feature Prime Minister Boris Johnson and Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn. Do you think she should be included?
Yeah, probably. People would no doubt want to hear what she says.
Boris Johnson wants to fight against Jeremy Corbyn as a kind of cartoon Marxist, and Jeremy Corbyn wants to fight against Boris Johnson as a kind of cartoon toff. And the trouble is that Joe Swinson is going to ruin that by bringing big supply teacher energy.
In other news, who was dragged to work this week?
The new Speaker of the House of Commons.
Very good, yes. Lindsay Hoyle. Here he is being dragged to his chair.
It's meant to show reluctance.
Yes.
Because when John Bercow did it, he sprinted into the chair. So they've changed the ceremony to make it look more modest.
Now, why will Lindsay Hoyle be cleaning up after Boris every morning?
Because he's... I saw this interview. He's got a number of pets.
Yeah, absolutely correct. So his pet parrot, who he's named after the Prime Minister. The Times revealed he's also got a dog named after Betty Boothroyd, a Rottweiler named after Gordon Brown, and a tortoise named after Margaret Thatcher, as well as a massive cock named after Jacob Rees-Mogg. Yes, Tom Watson shocked Westminster this week by resigning as an MP. Jeremy Corbyn thanked Mr Watson, saying he'd always enjoyed their convivial chats about horticulture, adding, "I hope the horseradish plants I gave you thrive," tactfully glossing over the ongoing investigation into the treatment of the Jerusalem artichokes. Tom Watson has a book coming out describing having lost 8 stone. 8 stone? That's pretty impressive. That's almost half an imaginary paedophile. The Lib Dems have complained about Joe Swinson being excluded from ITV's planned debate. The DUP are yet to confirm, as they're holding out for an appearance fee of £1 billion. And so to round 2, the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers teams.
There's a thing story about etiquette or things that a posh man should have done by the time he's 40 or something like that.
That's right. This week, Country Life magazine released a definitive list of achievements that a modern gentleman should have done before they die.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It makes me think of the story about Oswald Mosley, you know, when he decided he was going to come clean about all his philandering and he told his wife about all of his affairs, except the ones with her 2 sisters. That's gentlemanly.
Well, apparently there are 39 steps to becoming a modern gentleman, which include climbing a mountain and running a marathon. Have you done either of those, Ivo?
I have run a marathon, but I think the true gentleman is someone who does a marathon and doesn't bloody bang on about it all.
Ian, you've run a few, haven't you?
A couple of marathons? Yeah, Iron Man, me.
Yeah. What are some of the more unusual steps on the path to becoming a modern gentleman?
You've got to be able to open a champagne bottle with a sword, according to Country Life, I think.
Making the kitchen maid pregnant?
He's absolutely...
Waving goodbye to your mother as she sails on the Titanic. I'm going on old episodes of Upstairs, Downstairs.
Well, Ivo was absolutely right. He got one of them, opening an expensive bottle of champagne with a sword.
That's a modern gentleman,
That's right, yes, a modern gentleman. Yes, get with
you
it.
can do a Bacardi Breezer with a letter opener if you want to sort of
Start working your way
Now
up.
I'm with you.
Let's play a quick game.
Yeah.
See if you can guess any of the answers.
OK.
Breaking up a fight using what?
A taser.
Breaking up a fight using your wit, not your fists. Owning a pair of what?
Castles?
Is it trousers?
No.
Slippers.
Smoking jacket?
A pair of smoking trousers?
Smoking slippers.
Yes, smoking slippers. It's like
Smoking slippers? What the hell are they? You're sitting too close to the fire.
If you want to be a modern gentleman, what should you have named after you?
A country.
A baby.
Have a child named after you. Or, at the very least, a former Flames dog.
So you're meant to have kept the dog from a previous relationship? Or stolen the dog, or...?
No, just take its name.
A modern gentleman breaks up with someone and nicks their dog. Sliced open a bottle of champagne, come on this programme, apologise for all the privilege, go home.
Have you met my son, Fido?
Spelt Featherstone Huff-Do.
Talking of modern gentlemen...
Yes?
What did we learn Prince Charles is good at doing this week?
Well, I don't think we should talk about that.
Buying pictures that aren't real. All over his estate, there are these pictures that are actually prints on there, or are they fakes?
Yes, this was an embarrassing moment for Prince Charles.
Yes.
It was revealed that 17 paintings being displayed in Duchy of Cornwall properties were, in fact, counterfeits. Charles had been loaned them by art dealer James Stunt. Now, the paintings are, in fact, the work of artist Tony Tetreault. What do we think of his artwork there?
Is the nipple in exactly the right place?
For what?
What do you mean, for what? For a nipple?
In the place for woman. Well, it depends what...
Well, I don't know. I think
Where do you want it to be?
I think it's slightly up from where it should be.
Can we have another look? Could we zoom in any way? I mean,
No, we don't need to zoom in.
Oh, right.
It's not Channel 5.
Have you considered a spin-off show where you place the nipple on...
I think of nothing else.
Let's put Tony's other great art to the test.
Good.
I'm going to show you the Mona Lisa, and
Yes.
I want you to tell me if it's the original or Tony Tetreault's copy. Are you ready?
Yes, we can't wait.
Fake. It's Amanda Holden, isn't it?
So, yes, this is the news that Country Life has issued a guide on how to be a perfect modern gentleman. Country Life's list of qualifications for being a gentleman include buy a one-way ticket to an exotic destination, get married at least once, demolish something substantial with explosives. Also, the recruitment criteria for Islamic State. Now for the missing words round. And we start with house with 320 watt put up for sale.
Tory MPs in it.
Horseradish plants.
Is it plug sockets?
It is plug sockets. This week, an estate agent's photos of a house for sale caused a stir after revealing an excessive number of electrical sockets.
It's a marijuana farm. I gather.
To be fair, having so many plug sockets would have made it an ideal house for Boris Johnson, as there's absolutely no need to ask for an extension. Next, man accidentally buys what for £1 on the internet?
Alan Titchmarsh. 2 50-pence pieces.
Is it Britain?
1,000 live chickens for £1 on
That's a good bargain.
Yeah. That's the dangers of ordering cluck and collect. Yeah.
They are ungrateful.
I know.
No, they just want to go home and see their family. This is what it's like being a hostage.
This is Steve Morrow from Hamilton in New Zealand, who was shocked to discover he'd actually bought 1,000 of the birds. The chickens can't be rehomed as they are riddled with lice, mites and tapeworms. Or as they say in America, fit for human consumption. And finally, woman wakes up to find Arnold the bull, what?
Stuck in her cat flap. And that's not a euphemism.
Behaving impeccably in local china shop.
Woman wakes up to find Arnold the bull relaxing in her back garden. This is an unnamed woman in Northamptonshire who woke up one morning to find a local bull called Arnold hanging out in her garden. Here he is.
So she's unnamed, but the bull's called Arnold.
Arnold the bull was named after Hollywood action man Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was apt as the bull's next visit was to see the Terminator.
I like your house. Have you ever thought of putting a conservatory here? Your pot plants need watering. I'll be back, bacon. I'll be bacon.
I'll be back, bacon.
I'll be yeah, whatever the ransom is, we're happy to pay it. Whatever it is.
So the final scores are Ian and Helen have 5, but Paul and Ivo have 7. And I leave you with the news. In Middlesbrough, a group of factory workers conduct a simple experiment to prove that a freshly brewed tea bag can disguise the smell of urine. On the set of MasterChef, there's evidence that the crew have had enough of Greg Wallace. And the BBC announces the next series of Peaky Blinders will feature a new supervillain. Good night.
As it's renewed next Friday, and I got news for you, we'll be back in 2 weeks. He's one of the good guys. Tom Neenan is not all men. Download the BBC Sounds app and help him bring an end to social injustice. While playing What I Lie to You, you can also have a go at a game called Milky Cow. All become clear on BBC One in a moment.